You are looking at the shattered, broken pieces of your life, completely exhausted, wondering how a loving God could allow such catastrophic pain to enter your home. You prayed for protection, you faithfully sought His will, and yet it feels as though the Lord Himself has deliberately taken a wrecking ball to your comfort, your finances, or your family. You are terrified, secretly sitting in the dark, genuinely believing that God is furiously angry with you and has finally abandoned you. Today we are going to look directly into the agonizing fire of divine chastisement and discover why God violently tearing your earthly life apart is actually the most profound, undeniable proof of His eternal love. The shallow, plastic religion of our modern generation has sold you a devastating, toxic lie. The superficial pulpits of our day boldly preach that the exact moment you surrender to Jesus Christ, your life becomes a peaceful, uninterrupted journey of endless blessing, health, and earthly success. Because of this fragile theology, when the heavy, crushing hand of God's discipline actually strikes your life, you do not just feel pain, you feel utterly condemned. You assume you must have committed an unpardonable sin, or that your faith was never real to begin with. But Charles Haddon Spurgeon, a man who was intimately acquainted with severe, agonizing physical and mental suffering, completely shattered this illusion. Spurgeon boldly taught his weeping congregation that a Holy Father does not discipline His genuine children to destroy them. He disciplines them to forcefully detach them from a world that is passing away. If God leaves you entirely comfortable in your sin, your pride, and your worldly idols, it is the absolute, most terrifying sign of His eternal abandonment. Before we look directly into the Scriptures to uncover exactly why the Sovereign Lord uses the whip on the children He loves the absolute most, I desperately need your digital partnership. The algorithms that govern this platform actively suppress the heavy, bloody realities of the true Christian walk, preferring to feed the church a constant diet of shallow, positive thinking. If you are deeply thankful for a message that finally validates your crushing pain and anchors your weary soul in the unvarnished truth, please take one brief second to hit the like button right now. Leave a comment below declaring, "His discipline is my rescue." Share this video with a brother or sister whose life is currently falling apart and who desperately needs to know they are not rejected by heaven. Your engagement acts as a vital digital rescue rope. Please subscribe to the channel and ensure your notifications are turned on so we can continue to face these hard, unapologetic realities together. To truly understand the terrifying but deeply beautiful necessity of God's heavy hand, we must turn to the absolute, unyielding truth of Hebrews chapter 12. If you genuinely believe that your current season of intense suffering is the undeniable proof of God's hatred toward you, what the apostle says next will completely shatter your theology. In Hebrews chapter 12 verse 6, the writer delivers a staggering, absolute reality that completely defies our fragile human understanding of love. For the Lord disciplines the one He loves and chastises every son whom He receives. Let the terrifying, glorious weight of that text anchor your bleeding soul. Notice the specific, aggressive language. The text does not say God merely speaks to or politely corrects His children. It says He chastises them. That word literally implies the use of a scourge or a whip. When your life is collapsing and you are bleeding from your circumstances, the enemy aggressively whispers that God is acting as a furious judge who has finally rejected you. But the Scriptures declare the exact, staggering opposite. In verse 8, the writer drops an even heavier, unvarnished reality. If you are left without discipline, in which all have participated, then you are illegitimate children and not sons. If you can live in continuous, comfortable rebellion, if your worldly ambitions and hidden sins are left completely undisturbed by heaven, it is the most terrifying evidence that you do not actually belong to the Father. Charles Spurgeon intimately understood this agonizing divine paradox. He pastored thousands of weeping, exhausted believers who felt absolutely crushed under the heavy rod of God's correction. Spurgeon taught his congregation to fiercely recognize the profound, crucial difference between the penal wrath of a judge and the corrective discipline of a holy father. Spurgeon powerfully declared, "God will absolutely not let his true children sin successfully. He will actively hedge up your way with thorns. He will shatter your earthly comforts, and he will break your deepest idols, precisely because he refuses to let you comfortably march toward destruction." Read that quote again until it completely silences the demonic chaos in your mind. The Lord is not using the whip to destroy your soul. He is violently destroying the very things that are trying to destroy your soul. His severe discipline is the absolute, undeniable proof of your legitimate adoption. Before we uncover the specific hidden targets that God is actively trying to crush in your life right now, I must pause and ask for your urgent digital partnership. The algorithms that control this generation absolutely despise messages that demand endurance and validate the severe discipline of God. They thrive exclusively on quick fixes and superficial, comfortable religion. If you are deeply grateful for the heavy, liberating truth that God's whip is actually an instrument of sovereign love, please take one brief second to hit the like button right now. Leave a comment below declaring, "His discipline proves I am His." Share this video with a brother or sister who is currently watching their life fall apart, genuinely believing that heaven has turned against them. Your engagement is the vital weapon we use to bypass the artificial intelligence and deliver the uncompromised gospel to a generation starving for reality. Please subscribe to the channel and ensure your notifications are turned on so we can continue to face these hard truths together. But this brings us to a terrifying, highly practical question. If God is deliberately tearing our circumstances apart out of profound, eternal love, what exactly is his wrecking ball aiming at? What is the specific target of his heavy discipline? To survive this crushing season without completely losing your mind, we must look directly at the hidden, treacherous idols of the human heart and discover exactly why the Lord absolutely refuses to share his throne. When the Lord begins to violently dismantle your life, your flesh will aggressively scream that he is acting without cause. You will try to negotiate, you will try to hide your secrets, and you will desperately beg him to stop the pain. But you must understand the unvarnished reality of your own heart. God is not a cosmic vandal destroying things for his own entertainment. He is a master physician performing a life-saving, albeit agonizing surgery. In the book of Jeremiah, the Lord declares that the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. You are naturally prone to building shrines in your soul to things that are not God. Your reputation, your financial security, your family's status, or your own intellectual pride. The sovereign Lord loves you too much to allow those treacherous counterfeit gods to occupy the throne that belongs exclusively to him. Charles Spurgeon frequently warned his weeping, suffering congregation that God's discipline is always perfectly targeted, even when it feels entirely indiscriminate. He taught that the Lord uses the whip to strike precisely where the idol has grown the strongest. Spurgeon powerfully declared, "If you find that your comforts are being stripped away one by one, look to see if you have not made an idol of them. God will have a clean house, and if we do not sweep out our idols, he will bring the broom of discipline to do it for us. When the finances collapse, he is breaking the idol of security. When your reputation is tarnished, he is breaking the idol of pride. When your relationships are severed, he is breaking the idol of human dependence. The destruction you are currently witnessing in your life is not a tragedy. It is a violent, necessary demolition of everything that was standing between you and a pure, undistracted devotion to Christ. Before we look at the breathtaking, final reality of how to survive this demolition without abandoning your faith, I desperately need your digital partnership. The digital world is violently flooded with a shallow, religious culture that tells hurting Christians that God only wants them to be happy and comfortable. If you are deeply grateful for the refining, unvarnished truth that God's discipline is a holy act of jealousy for your soul, please take a brief moment to hit the like button right now. Leave a comment below declaring, Demolish my idols, Lord. Share this video with a brother or sister who is currently walking through the rubble of their own life and needs to understand the sovereign purpose behind their pain. Your engagement acts as a vital digital counterattack against the superficial algorithms of this generation, ensuring these deep, soul-anchoring truths reach the suffering saints who desperately need them. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so we can continue to stand firmly in the trenches together. But recognizing that God is crushing your idols does not automatically make the wreckage easy to look at. If you are sitting in the middle of your own life's demolition, what is the absolute, unshakable assurance that God will not leave you in the dust? How do you ensure that this season of breaking ends in your restoration rather than your destruction? To survive the final, most agonizing stages of divine chastisement, we must look directly at the ultimate, restorative promise of the gospel and discover exactly what the Master is building in the place where your idols once stood. When you are standing in the middle of the rubble, surrounded by the remnants of what you once cherished, your natural, fleshly response is to panic and try to rebuild exactly what God just destroyed. You want to patch the holes, restore the status quo, and return to your comfortable, idol-filled life as quickly as possible. But to do so is to violently reject the very purpose of the Lord's surgery. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11, gives the absolute, unvarnished truth regarding the fruit of this agony. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. God is not interested in merely patching up your life. He is interested in completely replacing your temporary earthly comforts with the eternal, indestructible fruit of His own righteousness. You are not being dismantled so that you can be abandoned. You are being broken so that you can be rebuilt into a vessel that is actually fit for the Master's use. Charles Spurgeon frequently reminded his congregation that the Lord never takes something away from His children without intending to give them something infinitely better in return. He taught that the divine whip is meant to prune the branch so that it may produce more fruit, not to cut it down from the tree. Spurgeon powerfully declared, "The Lord often strips us bare, not to leave us naked, but to clothe us with the garment of His own perfect righteousness." Do not weep over the breaking of your earthly toys. God is preparing to give you the enduring treasures of heaven. When you are in the middle of the demolition, the pain feels absolute and final, but you must force your weary heart to believe that the sovereign Lord is currently clearing the foundation of your soul to construct a character that is permanently conformed to the image of Jesus Christ. If you try to hold on to the rubble, you will only be crushed by it. If you release it, you will find that God is replacing your broken idols with His own unshakable presence. Before we look at the breathtaking final reality of how to fully surrender to this process and emerge from the fire, I urgently need your partnership. The digital algorithms of our day absolutely hate the theology of patient, agonizing endurance, preferring a cheap, plastic Christianity that promises effortless results. If you are determined to embrace the unvarnished, historical truth of the gospel, please take 1 second to hit the like button right now. Leave a comment below declaring, "Rebuild me for your glory." Share this video with a suffering friend who is completely exhausted from the rubble of their own life and desperately needs the right weapons to survive the divine demolition. Your engagement acts as a digital megaphone, pushing this vital, anchoring truth through the superficial noise. Please subscribe to the channel and ensure your notifications are turned on so we can continue to face these hard, glorious realities of the Word together. But surrendering to the demolition requires a level of trust that entirely transcends your current, painful circumstances. If you are commanded to stand amidst the ruins and allow God to continue His surgical work, what is the absolute, unshakable guarantee that this breaking will not ultimately end in your total destruction? To survive the absolute final stretch of this agonizing discipline, we must look directly at the ultimate, eternal guarantee of the gospel and discover exactly why a holy God keeps His hand on the whip until the work of grace is entirely complete. When you are standing in the middle of your life's ruins and the crushing discipline of the Lord feels like it might finally destroy you, you must forcefully reject the lie that His heavy hand is the hand of an enemy. In the closing words of Hebrews chapter 12, the writer confirms the terrifying but ultimately restorative purpose of this entire ordeal. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. Notice the sovereign, divine intention woven into every blow of the whip. The Lord is not interested in your permanent brokenness. He is orchestrating a specific, calculated training regimen designed to produce in you a peace and a righteousness that the world could never give and that the devil can never steal. Every piece of rubble you see in your life is simply space that the sovereign God is clearing to build a deeper, more resilient foundation of Christ-likeness. Charles Spurgeon frequently brought his weeping, exhausted congregation to this exact, magnificent realization. He taught that when we are completely overwhelmed by the breaking of our idols, we must stop looking inward at our own shattered circumstances and forcefully look upward to the face of a loving Father. Spurgeon powerfully declared, "The strokes of God's rod are the touches of His love. He never breaks the bone of a believer except to set it more perfectly than it was before." Oh, this is the heavy, glorious truth that will finally set you free from the prison of your own despair. You are not being abandoned in the wreckage. You are being prepared for a glory that will make your current, agonizing suffering seem entirely light and momentary. Before I leave you with this final, urgent charge to your soul, I want to make one last, desperate appeal for your digital partnership. If this message has completely shattered your guilt over your suffering, exposed the dangerous lie of painless Christianity, and brought an anchoring peace to your weary mind, please take a moment to hit the like button. Leave a comment below declaring, "The rod of God is love." Share this video with your family, your friends, and your church community who desperately need to know that their divine chastisement is not a sign of God's rejection, but a profound, holy forge for their salvation. Your engagement is not a meaningless metric. It is a vital tool that helps us cut through the superficial, exhausting noise of this generation and rescue wounded souls from the heavy burden of secret shame. If you want to continue exploring the deep, uncompromising and glorious truths of the gospel together, please subscribe to the channel and ensure your notifications are turned on. The time for desperately trying to protect your idols and fighting against the sovereign hand of your Father is absolutely over. You must violently reject the exhausting, prosperity-based religion of this shallow culture that demands God never allow you to endure a moment of pain. Today, if you are entirely exhausted from the breaking, do not dare to feel condemned. Do not let the devil convince you that the wreckage in your life is the true reflection of your rejection by heaven. Fall on your knees exactly as you are, weary, battered, and utterly depleted. Confess your absolute inability to survive this training in your own human strength, and then rest completely in the finished work of the cross. Let the idols fall, let the foundations shake, but do not doubt the heart of the one who holds the whip. The divine chastisement may endure for a terrifyingly long, agonizing season, but I promise you on the absolute authority of the Word of God, the final result will be a weight of glory you cannot yet fathom. You are completely, entirely, and eternally safe in the sovereign hands of your Savior.
If this message is speaking to your heart, I want to encourage you to take another step in your spiritual life. We have prepared the devotional 30 Days with Spurgeon, Intimacy with God, with daily reflections inspired in the Word of God and in the writings of the Prince of Preachers. Every day you will find direction, comfort, and encouragement for your faith. The link is in the description. Acquire it now and begin this day of spiritual transformation.